Welcome to this Operoo training video. In this video, we're going to look at navigation within your Operoo account. For this video, I'm using my demo account, which has all demo data within it. If you have any questions at all on any aspect of Operoo or any navigating within Operoo, you can contact our support team via live chat down here on the right-hand side and start a conversation. Other places you can gain help on the top right-hand side under help. FAQs will take you to our knowledge base, where there are hundreds of articles on how to complete certain aspects and certain functionalities within Operoo. Also, if you click on support, it will show you all of the ways that you can contact our support team. That could be via email, phone call, or you also have live chat on the bottom right-hand side. Lastly, if you have any questions, you can reach out to your dedicated customer success manager or CSM, and they will be more than happy to help you with any question that you may have. On to the training video though. When you first log into your Operoo account, if you are an administrator, you'll be taken to the administrator view, which is what we're currently looking at. On the top left-hand side, if I click my Walsh Primary School, I then have an option of Operoo Central, MWalsh 001. This takes me to my staff view. So if you have any staff members who within Operoo are staff only and not administrators, they will just have Operoo Central. However, if you are an administrator, you will have Walsh Primary School or the equivalent, obviously your school name or your customer name and your staff account as well. But with this video, it is designed for administrators, so we are going to spend all of our time in the administrator view. When you first log in, you will be taken to your student homepage. This will list all of your students. I only have 13 students in my demo account, so it's a very small amount of students within your account. Though when it first opens, your students will default with the last name A. So you may only see one student, you may only have one student with the last name A. To see all students, you can click on all, and to search, you can search on the top right-hand side for a specific student, or you can navigate to their last name and find that student that way. There is also an advanced search option on the top right-hand side here. Down on the bottom, we have three panels, and I'm just going to drag this up just so we can see it a bit clearer. On the bottom left-hand side, we have all of your groups. Now, if you are using Operoo as a synced customer, you may have certain groups that have synced over from, say, SIMS or ISAMs. With SIMS, you might have curriculum, houses, registration groups, and years. Any other groups that you want to create, you will need to create them within Operoo, which is what I've done. All of my groups are manually created groups. If you're not familiar with groups, there is a training video on groups. It's about 20 minutes. Have a look at that, and that goes through all the groups that you can create and all the settings within groups when they're created. Over here on the right-hand side, or right in the middle, I should say, this is where your e-forms will sit. Any archived e-form will not sit here. You can access that somewhere else, which I'll point out in a minute. You can search for forms, clicking on your icon here, you can search for it, or you can scroll down and find the form. It will show you parent forms. If you are using Operoo for student forms, so that's sending forms directly to students, clicking the drop down, you can then navigate and see your student forms as well. On the right-hand side, this will show you any staff members that have access to either that group or a specific e-form. So if I jump back to my parent forms and I click on my Jimmy's Farm form, I can see that Carly all the way down to Sarah, these staff members have access to that form. So they'd be able to see the form responses, the students that the form is being sent to, and a few other details. Down the bottom under that, staff below do not have access to this form. So they're the staff members who don't have access. If you'd like to see information on how you can assign access to a group and or an e-form, you can contact your CSM, live chat, or there is a knowledge base. Also, when you look at that group webinar, that group training session, I should say, that will show you how you can assign there as well. Further down on the left-hand side, we're going to have a look at all of the icons now on the left. So students will show you all of your students. Staff will show you all of your staff and your staff forms, as well as any staff groups that you have created within your account. The next icon down is your form library. Think of this as your electronic filing cabinet. This will show you all of your forms, and this is where you can access any archived forms as well. With archived forms, you do have the ability to see the responses of those forms, and you can still export that information. Further down on the left, you then have your event documents. Event documents is where you can collate all information relating to a certain event. So for example, my Jimmy's Farm. If I click into Jimmy's Farm now, I have documentation that I've uploaded from an external system. I will as well as some risk assessments and planning approval forms, which have been submitted within Operoo, and all the staff members who can access all of that information. Further on the left, you then have news articles. If you're not familiar with news articles, there is another training video that goes through news articles and also messaging in great detail. So have a look at those and see how you can use that functionality within your school or within your environment. But news articles, this is where you would create those articles, edit them, and so forth. Message center down here on the left, there are a variety of ways that you can create messages within Operoo. The message center is one of them. But when you first click message center, it will show you some analytics. So users who sent messages in the last 30 days and types of messages that were sent in the last 30 days. As well as that, you can see your messages. You can click into them, see what messages were successfully sent, what messages maybe failed or bounced, and you've got all of that information, as well as sending messages, of course. Coming back, the next icon on the left here is product changes. This will show you any new changes that have been made within Operoo. If there are any specific changes that you as a customer have requested, or your CSM knows that would be incredibly useful for you in the way that you're using Operoo, your CSM will always reach out to you and let you know that that change has been put in place as well. If there are any product changes that you haven't read, there'll be a red dot and the number of articles that you haven't yet seen. Next one down on the left is your user accounts. Clicking into here quickly, there are a variety of things that you might do in here. One is a high level, you can see who has signed up in your account, who has not. If you click on the hyperlink, it will show you those users. You can also reset passwords. So users can reset their password themselves via the homepage. It's a very simple process following the prompts. However, as an administrator, you can reset passwords. And then once you've reset passwords, clicking on the 3 lines, you can send those new user credentials to that specific user as well. The next one down on the left, you have reports and archives. There are various reports here that you can have a look at. You can also run reports via a student record to get that information for that specific student or a set of students. And lastly, down on the left, you have settings. So these are the main settings of your account. There are various options in here. If you would like a refresher on your settings, there is also a training video that goes into settings and configurations in a deep dive. It's about 40 minutes in duration. So have a look and look at that video if you'd like more information on settings. So they were all the icons on the left-hand side. Up here on the right-hand side, there are a few other icons. On the right-hand side, sign out, obviously signing out of your account. Under help, I clicked in here earlier. FAQs takes you to our knowledge base. Our support takes you to all of the ways that you can gain support. And then you've got terms and conditions and privacy policies. Under my account, there are a few things that you can do here. As an administrator, you can edit my account. So you can change your password, change your inactivity period. For example, recent sign-ins will show you recent signings to your account. 2-step verification, setting up that extra layer of security, and notification settings. And I'm going to click into this one because this is a good one to show. As an administrator, you can set your notification settings. So Operoo will notify you of specific events that have taken place. So for example, just looking at this anaphylaxis one down the bottom, if you are allowing parents to change a medical condition and a parent does add an anaphylactic medical condition for their child and they add an EpiPen with an expiration date, if you set this to as soon as possible, you will be notified that that expiration date of that EpiPen has changed. Also, the e-form changed. We get asked about this one quite often. E-form changed is another administrator making a change to an e-form. It's not a parent making a change. That setting is in the e-form itself. So this e-form change isn't another administrator or a staff member if you've given them access to make those changes. Clicking save, and those settings have been saved. Also here you can manage your linked accounts as well. So if you have multiple accounts, if you're an administrator and a staff and a parent, you can link the accounts so you can toggle between the two of them. And lastly, recent, you've got your recent pages that you've been to. A very quick navigation of Operoo. Hopefully that will help you with basic navigation of Operoo. But as I said, if you do have any questions, please contact the support team or reach out to your CSM manager. And we're more than happy to help you with any question that you may have. Thank you very much for your time.